Hello guys, sorry I was a little bit late today. So let's continue, let's start with Bitcoin actually. First of all, I want to show you some improvements I did to my system. Actually it's the same, but I'm gonna explain to you in the next section of this live stream some indicators. For example, this one, the BSA OBB, is a new indicator actually I'm planning to use as a part of my system. I will explain you the reasons. The exponential moving average volatility is just the ME55, but instead of just now you can see I don't have the volatility indicator here. Is because actually I created this indicator where I can see the volatility easily in the moving average. When you see the moving average is blue, like this color, that means the volatility is extremely low. Yeah, when it's red, is expanding here, and is pink is in extreme. Okay, so also I added this effect here to see, like in the big picture, when actually the volatility is contracting. And also I added as an optional the ME100 as an optional secondary support. You want to do that, but it's up to you. This indicator is free, it's open source. You can actually use it if you want. Just you can search in my profile in my scripts and you can actually use it. Now let's continue with Bitcoin. As you can see here, Bitcoin is in one day chart, the volatility is extremely low. So we know something, right? The move is coming. The next big move for Bitcoin is coming very soon. I think maybe this week, maybe potentially next week. Now we are waiting for the monthly close. Now I have to be honest with you, Bitcoin is doing very well. It's very well because it's holding the range even without volume. Yep, as you can see here, Bitcoin in curve is holding here this range between 116 to 120, and is holding. Well, if you see Bitcoin holding this range for more time, and maybe 3 days more, be careful here because we could see another bounce here, looking for maybe a potential another bounce here. Of course, this bounce is not gonna be very strong because there is no volume to support this move. It could be a bull trap. Yep, maybe, yeah. At this point, I think we will have to. I have to be careful here with the moves we see in crypto, because it looks like now we will see some bull traps here in the short term. Now let me explain something else. Let me show you something else. We don't have volume here. We don't have volume on OBB. As you can see, actually OBB is making a new low. So if you see this bounce in one day chart, honestly for me it's gonna be a bull trap. Be careful here. Be careful. Of course, in the short term, you can trade here if you want. In my case, I am planning to open a long position very soon in short term, right, in 4-hour chart. As you can see here, Bitcoin is holding here in between ME55 and ME100 here in 4-hour chart. It's doing very well. Volatility is extremely low. As you can see here, we have this color here is very low. So the move is coming. Yeah, this move is coming. And also not just this one. Also, let me show you here 12-hour chart. 12-hour chart, actually volatility was very low. I think in the move for 12 hours already happened. It was this one, and now again is contracting here. But as you can see here, volatility is contracting in one day chart. Every time when volatility is contracting one day chart, is as a trader, is the best moment to start looking for positions. In this case, probability to see another leg down right now, I think they are getting low now. So be careful here, you are in short. In my case, I am in short in a swing position around 119. I protected my entry just in case Bitcoin is pumping again. I will just get stopped without any losses. Remember, risk management is the most important thing. And also for our chart, I will open a long position if I see a potential buy signal forming right now here for Bitcoin, even without volume. Remember, this trade is in the short term, right? Because we know Bitcoin doesn't have volume in one day chart. There is a very high probability if we see this bounce and test maybe 120, 122, 22 again, potentially, it could be a bull trap. Now let's continue with something else. Let me show you here the weekly chart. Yeah. Weekly chart is obvious here. We have finally this, not just only one, we have three, one, two, no, we have two better variances here in weekly chart, and this is very concerning because it's the first time I see something like this in Bitcoin. Okay, now we are gonna see a sell signal very soon here. Formally speaking, well, even if we see another test to maybe 122, 125, whatever, overall in this setup is telling me it's gonna be like this. Yeah, after we have of course the sell signal, but also we need to see something else. We need to see the ADX negative. When we see the ADX negative here, right, something like this, yeah, the ADX negative is where we will actually start thinking Bitcoin is gonna crash, right here. For example, here, after we got the signal here, after almost 2 weeks after we got the signal, finally ADX was negative, and after that is when we saw the major crash from a 100k to 72. So if we see the signal right now, maybe next weekend, please wait. Of course, we could see a new high potentially. It shouldn't be strong. And after that, that potential high, it could be another position to start looking for swing shorts in the weekly chart. Of course, I will share more details in my Patreon. You are following me there as well. You are supporting the channel. I will share more my setups there. Okay, now let's continue with something else. Let me show you here the 3-day chart. 2-day chart, we have exactly the same thing. We have a better variance. Let me be clear. We have better variance into the chart. Also, we have a better variance in 3-day chart, and also we have in 5-day chart we have a better variance, and also weekly chart we have a better variance. Yeah, Bitcoin will go to 1 million, right? No. I think finally we are in the last phase of this bull market. Technically speaking, Bitcoin is an uptrend. Yeah, I cannot be bearish here, but the only thing I'm telling you right now, I am just defensive. As you can see here, in weekly chart, the volatility was extremely low here, very low here when Bitcoin hit 76. And after that, now we have the expansion. It's very easy to see it. That's why I really like this indicator, because we have volatility here, we have expansion, and we have extremes. Right now here, Bitcoin is reaching the extreme. Usually when you see Bitcoin reaching the extreme, or any asset, not just Bitcoin, you will see sideways. When you see this kind of purple red is when you will see sideways. Yeah, sideways. Yeah, not all the time, but most of the time. For example, here, right here, we have sideways action here, also here. And in this case, of course, there are some exceptions here. It was very strong here, but most of the time you will see, when you see the red, the volatility is extremely high. Is actually, you will see sideways here because it's the climax of that move. Now, now let's continue with the monthly here. Monthly close, actually, technically speaking, is looking, I mean, using just price action is looking very healthy. I have to be honest with you. I don't see any using just price action is looking very healthy, and also volatility is contracting, as you can see here. So what I'm trying to say here, potentially we could see maybe 3 or 4 months, maybe potentially maybe 2, something like this in sideways here, looking for maybe consolidation or distribution in this case, right? If we want to see reversal here, we need to see Bitcoin closing below $105,000. I think that is not going to happen. I think this close is good. I mean, just following price action, but also the ADX is positive here. But please don't forget this. We still have the sell signal in the monthly, and remember this signal is for 1 year. And also, not just only that. If we see this, we have 1, 2, 3 strikes of better variances in OBB monthly. I have never seen something like this for Bitcoin. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here is just we have to be careful here. At least I am very careful here, because I cannot ignore the better variances we have right now in monthly, weekly, 3-day, 5-day. Everywhere we have actually better variances. Okay, so that's why when I was studying this, I was updating my indicators. Now using BCA, this OBB BCA, I'm gonna explain you actually very interesting setups actually I found with this indicator, and I will tell you in the next section how to use it. And also, this indicator is private. You are supporting this channel. um, please send me create a ticket and I can give you access to this indicator. Now let's continue with the Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance because, well, bull market for altcoins, right? Yeah, alt season. I don't think so. I don't think so. This was just a pullback, right? Pullback, and after that we will see a buy signal here. We are still in Bitcoin season. Honestly, I don't see. Of course, there are some altcoins they are pumping right now, right? But what I'm trying to say is like holding for 1 year, 2 years, altcoins at these prices. I think they is not very smart. The thing here is like now Bitcoin dominance is testing the MA55 volatility contraction here. We will see a buy signal very soon, and also here, as you can see, OBB is defending here. Is the MA55 here is defending actually OBB. So we could see actually a bounce in the following weeks. That means August we could see a bounce. Of course, we will see a correction in many altcoins. The question is Bitcoin is gonna start maybe correcting from here? Potentially, yes. We will have to wait for confirmations first. Okay, I am not calling the top, not yet, because actually price action actually is looking good. But as you can see here, Bitcoin has many warning signs. Like we have to be careful. At least in my case, I am very careful. Of course, I am trading, right? In the short term, I'm trading. I'm talking about like this, like you're an investor, right? You want to hold for long term. Bitcoin, buying Bitcoin at 120k, 100k, I think for me is not very smart. Yep. I think I buy Bitcoin or altcoins after the crash, after I see 70%, 80%. That kind of crashes when I buy altcoins, not when everything is pumping. Well, the mindset is different, right? That's the point. The mindset I have is different. I don't like to follow the masses here. People like to buy the FOMO, right? But in my case, no, I don't do that. So, well, now let's continue with USD dominance, because actually USD dominance is gonna be very interesting here. Let me show you here in one day chart. In one day chart, we have this the DX negative here, looking for well, actually the time is almost over here. If you see same as Bitcoin, you see here crossing the seller line here, and this thing is not moving. Potentially we could see another leg down, but this leg down, my friend, is gonna be a bull trap or a bear trap in this case, because we are UC dominance is gonna test the strongest support historically speaking, since I mean this is the strongest support of UC dominance. Any test from here, you will see a very strong bounce and potentially a bullish divergence here. So that's why I am very careful. Potentially we could see a bounce for Bitcoin, one more bounce, but for me that is gonna be a bull trap. And now, if you see weekly chart is very interesting here. UC dominance is firing here a new buy signal here. Yeah, a new buy signal here very soon, potentially next week. So what I'm trying to say here is, well, I think it's a time for a pullback for Bitcoin in the long term. Maybe 2 or 3 months of correction. That is something actually. In my case, well, actually, I was the only altcoin I bought this year. It was Solana. I bought Solana around 105, and I closed my position around 175, something like that. Since then, I didn't buy again Solana. But as you can see here, UC dominance actually is firing a buy signal. We don't have the confirmation. We have to wait for this weekend. But if we see this buy signal here, sideways bounce is going to be the trajectory here, the projection, sorry. So that means Bitcoin is getting ready for a major pullback. Weekly pullback, right? Weekly pullback. So what I'm trying to say here is the next target, of course, for Bitcoin in the weekly basis is going to be the MA55. In this case, right now is at 90K. Potentially, it could be $95,000, $97,000, something like this in the following months. Yeah. But after I say that, I need to wait. I want to see the confirmation when I see the sell signal here, and plus ADX getting negative. The slope should be negative. Okay. After that, I think I will continue with Ethereum, and after that, let's talk about the indicators. Okay. As you can see here, same as yesterday. Sorry, a couple days ago. No, thank you. This is resistance, resistance, resistance. If you are here or you are here, here is when you want to take profits, but if you're in FOMO, you will not do that, right? It's okay. I mean, it's fine. I'm hoping you're right. Ethereum will hit $7,000, $8,000, $10,000. Seriously, I am hoping, and I'm hoping also the monthly buy signal here. You'll see super weak buy signal here in momentum here. Honestly, I think this is a fake signal. But let's see. Maybe I want you to be right. Uh-huh. Let's see. Hopefully, yeah. But just remember, this is just for now, at least just today, is just sideways action. Okay, we could see a breakout. Yeah, we could see a breakout, but let's see. Okay, let's see. Okay, now let's continue with the stock market. And the stock market, let me show you here the stocks. The stock market, I'm gonna continue with this P500 here. This P500, as expected, remember, a new all-time high. Perfect. Okay, good. Now let me show you here. We have one, two, three. We have better divergence here. Remember, don't short the market. Don't short. Don't short. Just wait for the pullback. When you see again the MI55 to be tested, sorry, around here, around 6,000, potentially could be a buy opportunity because the volume is very good. You see, volume is very good, very healthy. So I don't have signals of a major crash, not yet, at least in one day chart. But in weekly chart, yeah, actually we will see a test of the MI55 here, and usually when you see the test here is a rejection. Yeah, usually it's like that. Of course, it's not always, but also we have a sell signal forming right now. So in the following months, potentially we could see a correction. It's just a correction. It's just a pullback. I am not calling the bear market right now. No, something like this, a pullback, and after that maybe continuation. Okay, but yeah. Now let me show you here the monthly. Monthly here we have a better divergence here, but volume is still very healthy, very healthy here. Actually, it's bouncing here. I would like to see something like this, right? But it's rare cases. The volume should be very low here. Major crash here, 2008. I don't see this scenario because some people, they were talking about this. Oh, the major crash. Robert Kiyosaki, right, is talking always about the major crash. The major crash is coming. This guy is calling the crash almost every weekend. This guy always wrong. He's always wrong. I think he wants, as many YouTubers, many crypto YouTubers, and many influencers. He wants to get as much as he can followers, right? Just emotional followers, right? I think, but it's okay. Though you are here is because you are not like that, right? So you are actually, I think you want to become a serious trader, professional trader, right? So that's why you are here. Okay, now let's continue with NVIDIA. NVIDIA, new all-time high here. Of course, as investor, there is no position right now. Let me see weekly chart. We will see you see here a test of MI55. This is the test I told you about the SP500 here, and of course potentially we could see a rejection. Also sell signal very soon. It's just a pullback. This pullback, if you are looking for a buy opportunity, I think in the following months we will see this opportunity. Okay, now let's continue with the next section of this live stream, where I'm gonna explain to you the new indicators and how to use them and how you can access to them. Okay, so first of all, here, remember I show you here the moving average. It's an exponential moving average here. If you're supporting the channel, please send me a DM or just join to Discord, and you can we have here I have here a support ticket section where you can request access. And as you can see here, we have here the primary moving average of my system is MI55 and a secondary 100. Sometimes I like to use it, sometimes I don't. Why? Because this moving average 100 only a few times per year is tested. That's the problem. If I use only 100 MA100, I will not trade. Maybe every 2 months. So that's why I don't use it very often. But some traders, they like to use it. Also, I agree with that. Actually, it's a good moving average as well. Now, let me show you here. We have here the volatility here. This volatility is using the same calculation I use in my previous in other indicator. So as you can see, it's using the Bollinger Bands. what it's actually is doing is calculating when the Bolivar band is compressing between the price, is getting smaller. That means the volatility is getting very, very low. When it's expanding, so what you are seeing, the color here you see here is actually the Bolivar bands contracting or expanding, contracting and expanding. That is the secret of this indicator. It's open source. You can see, you can study the code there. And that's all. Is not the limited trend. It's actually, well, yes, it's the limited trend because of dynamic support resistance, but the one of the functions of this moving average is telling me the volatility, because as a trader I want to catch explosive moves, right? And the only way, or the best way to do that is catching the market when it's in sideways or is in the volatility is extremely low. As you can see here, every time when the volatility is blue, 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 you will see what? Explosive moves, explosive moves, explosive moves. You see? You see volatility is blue here, explosive moves. Yeah? Volatility is blue here, another explosive move here. Yeah? And you can continue doing exactly the same thing. Volatility blue here, explosive move. So that's the secret. That's the secret. The biggest difference between professional traders and retailers, or just people who they think they are trading, is just they want to catch every candle, every move, every 5 minutes, right? No. At least in my experience, who wants to become actually a professional trader must wait. You have to be patient. You have to control your emotions and wait for the right moment. And in my case, because we cannot manipulate the market, right? We don't have enough capital, right? We are retailers, right? So we need to understand how market makers they are playing the game. Yep. And you notice here the pattern is very obvious. Every time when the market is in sideways, people don't care, right? YouTubers, right? Moon boys and this kind of people, they are, I mean, Twitter or well, X is full with these people. They are just, they want this, right? When they want this, so that's why they buy. Actually, Alessio, this trader, he said like smart money, dumb money, right? Here is a smart money when the volatility is very low, and here is the dumb money. In simple, in my case, it's like professional traders are here, investors, institutions, right? And here, well, people who are, I'm very happy about it, right? 90% of the people, like they are just following social media, the news, they are following, I don't know, whatever, right? And they are very emotional. But without them, we cannot make profits. That's the point, right? That's the point. We need them because we need to sell to someone or we need to buy from someone. Yeah. They sell in panic or they buy in FOMO. So that's why we need to be like, build a system, use a system like actually we can anticipate these kind of moves. It's not perfect, but well, at least it's working. So if you see here, smart money is here, smart money was here, smart money as well is here, right? This color is gonna tell you when actually volatility is very low, and is when as a trader we have to enter to the market. We need to sit and study the market, and after that we need to say, okay, it's gonna be to the upside or to the downside. Now let's continue with the next indicator. The next indicator here is this one, and this one is very, very interesting. Is the BCA. BCA is volume analysis, story analysis, volume story analysis. Basically, what is telling you this in the big picture? You can search about this indicator. It's gonna tell you when institutions they are buying, when they are selling, and it depends on the color of the bar. Is like it could be a fake out or it could be a breakout if the move is real or not. It's quite complex, but I simplify. I spent like maybe 2 months studying this all the concept of PCA, but all the indicators are using volume. And I said, well, what happens if I apply the same principles but to OBB? Because OBB is actually filtering all the information, right? Already is actually filtering the volume. So my theory was, okay, maybe I will get a cleaner version of the volume, right? And yeah, actually, yes, I really love it. I really love it, actually. Very, very beautiful. Let me show you an example, okay? If we go here to 2022, yeah, 2022, we see we are here in March 2022 when Bitcoin was at $48,000, right? And as you can see here, when Bitcoin was crashing here, the green bars, they are telling you, well, the volume is normal, no problem, everything is potential just a correction, right? It's normal, okay. But after the major crash start happening here, you see here the volume here was very low, very low. Why? That means like only retailers in this case, they were selling. Yeah, only people who were in panic. Yeah, like you wanna see when you see this kind of moves crashing in this case to the downside, to the upside, you wanna see volume following the action, right? But in this case, all this move here, all this move, it was uh, you see we have here just a little bit of volume. So we can say, okay, potentially this move, I know in weekly chart is a lot, right? It's massive, but potentially we could see the bottom we're very close to see the bottom of this move because we don't have the real, I mean, the sell pressure, right? And actually where we can see the sell pressure is here. You see, when you see the bar orange and red and this kind of yellow, orange, red, is when actually market makers or big a lot of volume, we can imply institutions or market makers, they were selling here when people they were bullish, and after that only retailers they sold here, but they didn't because they actually did it here. Yeah. And now what happened here? What happened here? As you can see here, the volume is very low, very low, but after that is normal. When you see bars blue and yellow and green, the volume is normal, there is nothing interesting, but something happened. When you see this purple candle here, especially here, also of course as well with a huge support because it's a support, yeah. This is telling you this move here, this dump, it was not significant. Plus bullish divergence here, yeah, in curve, and also not just only that, volatility contraction here. When you see this kind of low bars here, they are telling you this move in this case to the downside is a fake out. Plus, not just only that, we have this small volume here, is purple, plus we have green dots. Green dot that means a bullish divergence. So this is telling you here, the price is crashing, but the volume is moving up. Is actually is not crashing. It's just stable. I mean, the volume is not following the price in this case. So that's why we can imply, okay, this is actually a fake out potentially, yeah. And of course, we cannot say just like this, right? We have to confirm. And also in OBB here, also we have a bullish divergence forming here, right? A bullish divergence here, and also a bullish divergence here. And with this study here, this indicator, we understand, okay, here is a time to buy here because we have a bullish divergence here. We have the confirmation with curve, and so the entry point is here, yeah, using also this indicator here, yeah. And after maybe a couple of weeks, we have, of course, the confirmation on curve, and of course, we have the confirmation of OBB. With this indicator, as you can see here, what I did is I anticipated the entry maybe 3 weeks before. That's something I really love about this indicator because it improved a lot actually the entries of my system. Yeah, it not just only weekly chart, actually monthly as well, and also in the short term. You see, and after that, what happened? We have this rally, right? Massive rally, right? Massive rally from here all the way up here. But what happened after that? If we see the volume here, the purple bars, and this, of course, some institutions they are selling as well. But one thing, the volume here, the moving average, this moving average is positive. That means it's not enough. The selling pressure here is not enough to change the trend of the volume. So in simple words, money is coming. Money is entering into the market. Yeah. And again, the same pattern. We have potentially a buy signal here, volatility contraction, and very low volume. What is this telling you? Another entry. This is the second entry. The second entry here. You see? Same pattern, right? Same pattern. And now let's continue. Now we continue with this. Volume is normal, is green, gray, and finally here we have some candles here. Not enough because the volume is very healthy here, right? You can see it not just only in this indicator, also here in OBB. We don't have various divergences here. The price is actually moving up, and finally here, when the volume, finally the bars are below, sorry, the moving average, we can start thinking, okay, the price potentially is going to enter in sideways, or is going to potentially start crashing. So what happened? Yeah, we have this selling pressure here, and since then the bars are below the moving average, this moving average, the OBB. What happened in OBB? The same thing, right? It's below the moving average here. You see? You see the confirmations here. Yeah. And what happened with the price? Sideways, right? And when we have another entry, well, here in this indicator, we don't have any entry right now. We don't have, because in overall, nothing interesting is happening here. In the consolidation from $68,000 to $51,000, the institutions, technically speaking, they enter here and they enter here. Yeah, here maybe just retailers. Only retailers, they are just trading this range, because institutions, they could be here and here. Remember, when the volume is extremely low, is when actually, and it's in sideways in theory, right? This is just theory, right? This is a following the BCA concepts, is when institutions, they are coming to the market. Yeah, so they enter in September 2023 and potentially May 2022, and since then only retailers are trading the markets right now. Only retailers. And now what happened right now? We have the buy signal here in curve, right? The MA55 is tested, volatility contraction here, and after that another move. And as you can see here, for first time in this last year, some institutions, when you see green and yellow, these kind of bars, they are telling you massive selling pressure, massive selling pressure. And of course, we can imply the market is going to enter in sideways or it's going to crash. So what happened after that? After of this, we have this here, right? Three blocks. We have three bars here. Yeah, yellow, green, yellow. This is telling me sell pressure a lot, and the price is moving. So of course it could be a bull trap. Now what happened? The market entered in sideways here, right? And after that, sell signal here, ADX negative, and the market crash. Yeah, all the way down to MA55. You see? And we can repeat the same process and the same process. And not just only that, we can do the same thing in 4-hour chart. Let me show you here. If I show you here in 4-hour chart, for example, in this price action, is very interesting. Actually, I am using this system with this indicator right now in 4-hour chart, and honestly, it's working very good. I love it. Let me show you. We have here very low volume, MA55 to be tested here. And what I did here, I opened a long position here, right? A long position. And after that, we saw the bounce. You see? When I sold my position is when I saw the first warning was here, the orange bar. This is telling me some significant selling pressure. And I closed my position here in this case. I didn't wait for curve to tell me. Yeah. Because remember, curve in sideways is very bad, right? So what I did, instead of trading with curve, I just use only this one on price action. That's all. Basically, what I did is I enter here, yeah, and I close here, yeah. This is another strategy when you want to trade sideways, right? Sideways markets in the short term. And the other entry, no entry, there is no entry, removing all the noise. And finally here, another entry here, you see, testing the MA55 here. And I close my position. This one, I close my position in resistance around here, because it's a very short term, from 114 to 117, because it's a resistance. Also, you see the orange bar is there. And now here we are gonna have another buy signal here in curve, and now it's in between. Bitcoin is in between the M55 and the 104-hour chart. Now, what I am expecting right now, first of all, waiting for the buy signal here in 4-hour chart. Volatility contraction is happening right now, and what I'm expecting the next two candles here, I have very small candles, very like something like this. I am expecting. If I see something like this, I'm gonna open a long position, looking for another bounce all the way to maybe 120k, and yep, you see, that is the way. Only using volume, I actually built another way of trading in sideways on how to identify opportunities. You not just only using OBV, the normal moving average. The normal moving average. This indicator is powerful. But if we know what is happening inside of that price action with volume, is gonna be way much better. For example, right now, in 1-day chart, we repeat the same exercise. Yeah, if we repeat the same exercise, we know we don't have volume here, right? We don't have volume. But now with this information, now we know, okay, blue bars, no one is interested here. Yellow, green bars, well, a little bit pressure to the upside. And gray, there is nothing interesting here. But this is the moment when we want to enter. This is the moment when, in my case, I am watching the markets every day. When I see volatility very low is when I actually see it, and I see the market. I am watching the market for maybe a few days because I don't want to miss the move. So the next thing I want to do, I want to see here is a purple bar, potentially a purple bar, something like around here. If I see the purple bar, I want to open a long position, because this one is going to be a buy signal here. And of course, with this indicator is telling me institutions in theory, right? Remember, in theory, right? Because we don't know exactly who they are. They are coming to the markets, okay? And to the markets, and potentially we could see another bounce here in volume. I know it's complex. I know, that's why I'm going to create some. I'm gonna record some videos about this, and I'm gonna share this kind of videos in my Patreon for all the people who are supporting the channel. If you're interested in the topic, you can search, and there are many videos about BCA, about volume. But all the videos you will find is with just only volume. Yeah, only this indicator, right? Volume. Volume. Only the normal volume. Only this one. Only this one. Okay. Only this one. And it's okay. It works potentially, yeah. But in my case, I wanted to use OBV, because OBV is helping me a lot. Actually, it's very good indicator. It's my leading indicator. I wanted to understand more what is going on inside of the volume in each bar, and BCA actually helped me a lot to find actually good trades. I started using this indicator 2 months ago as experiment, and my win rate actually is very good. But it's a complement. I mean, you cannot just use indicator for trading. You have to use it with my system as a complement. So you follow the normal rules of OBV, normal rules of curve, and you study the volume here. When you study the volume, even you can anticipate the moves even better. Now let me show you one more example in 2021, because actually it's very interesting here. Let me show you here in 2000. Well, this one. Just only a few cases in 2019, 2020. Same thing. Investors or institutions, based on the concepts of BCA, they enter here. You see, they enter here. When after the crash in 2019, and since then only retailers are trading here. Only retailers. Of course, the second chance. Sorry. Let me fix this. Investors here, or smart money, and here only retailers, and they cash out around here. As you can see here, we have the first time when they cash out, it was here in 2019. Let me fix this because okay, yeah, okay, okay. Let me explain this better. Following the BCA, this study with OBB, investors they enter here. I'm gonna change the color, yeah, to green, and they, in theory, they started cashing out around here, around in July 2019 when Bitcoin was around $10,000, $11,000. Here. So in price action, they enter here and they close here. Yeah. Of course, we have the if we follow this, it was even before of the buy signal occurred. It was even before the buy signal of OBB. You see, that's the difference. With this study, we can anticipate what actually the market is doing even before the signals are fired. They fire, you know. So that's actually very powerful, very powerful. Of course, we have to understand. We need to study more this indicator. It's not just like, oh yeah, let's buy it there because the indicator is doing that. You have to support this idea, the concepts with this, with support and resistance, and a little bit more complex. But now let's see what happened here in 2020 when in the corona crash, right? The market crashed, but you see here the volume is very low. You see, very low, very low. So what does that mean? This crash, it was a fake out where you, technically speaking, we should buy here because it's purple. All of them are purple. They are buying here. So this is telling me retailers in 2019 is an information for me. I didn't know that. Or I was guessing this, but finally I have more data to confirm this. All this move, this crash, it was just retailers in panic. Yeah. And with this study right now, I can tell you institutions, they didn't sell here. Actually, they bought everything here. And many of them, when the Bitcoin was pumping again, they sold here around $10,000. But after that, this is just my assumption, right? It's just my experience as a trader. When they noticed that Bitcoin was just not dropping, they started buying here as well. Buying here, and since then, this is just retailer price action. All of this is a normal trend. And we repeat the same thing here, you see. And now, eventually, we will have, right now, according to volume, we don't have a strong evidence Bitcoin is printing the top right now, at least not yet. If we study the past, when Bitcoin actually printed the top is here, when market institutions, right here, when you see the bars here, like a green, sorry, orange, yellow, and also you see multiple better variants here in the top, is when we can start thinking about that kind of things. Yeah. For example, this move in 2020 when Bitcoin hit 60K, in 2021, 60K, you see here the bars are totally normal. They didn't sell anything, right? So that's why this crash, it was just maybe a retailer people, they were scared about something, the news, whatever, and they sold because they were in panic. But institutions, they didn't sell. They sold here. You see? Here. They sold here, not here. Now you can see with this indicator. It's very interesting, actually. Very interesting. A little bit complex, I have to be honest, but the results are actually amazing. I really like it. I think it could be a very nice addition to my system. Instead of creating more indicators, I was thinking, well, my system is based on volume, right? Volume is the key of my system, and time of volatility, but volume, right, is the basement and the foundation of my system. So what I have to do when I was thinking, because I felt so bad with one of my indicators, I took a loss. It was not significant, but I took a loss a few months ago in weekly chart. I decided to, okay, so instead of trying to create new indicators or new things, I will try to improve the foundation of my system. The foundation of my system is volume. So that's why I wanted to understand more how volume is working. Yeah. And with this indicator, actually, well, I'm very happy with the results. Of course, it's a secondary indicator. It's not leading indicator, but as you can see, I gave you some examples. How we can improve our trading performance with this. Okay, guys, I think, let me see. I think that's all. If you want to get access to this indicator, just send me a message, Discord, right, or DM, and of course, I will give you access. Okay, guys, thank you so much. See you in a couple days. I'm trying to be more stable with my live streams, to transfer week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So see you next Friday, okay? After that, we will talk about the monthly close, okay? Thank you, guys.